So, welcome. So I work for Town and Country. Within that, we have 13,000 homes. And primarily my role is to kind of be the lead staff member to actually try to build a culture across the organisation to use data better to drive service improvements. And one of the things that we find challenging over the past years is actually getting residents actively involved in a regular basis. I remember 3-4 years ago, I was spending hours and hours looking at Excel spreadsheets, trying to brand the different comments into useful information. It was very hard to be consistent and reliable. With the regulation changes that were coming forth in terms of respectful and helpful engagement, we really need to kind of get a grip of how we can get a better understanding of what residents feel about our services. We started to add more open comment fields rather than just closed comments. And that's when the problem really started for us, because actually, whilst we got a lot of quantitative stuff, qualitatively we need to understand what drives the satisfaction and dissatisfaction through the open questions that residents ask us. And it just that one day, I got a call from Wordnerds. So I really liked what I heard, and I said, actually, this is going to be something quite big, but actually, I don't know whether social housing is ready for this. So what we agreed to do a project, look at data, looking at a year back of all our transactional surveys and actually see what it would tell us. And straight away, it made a really major impact. All our customer services managers got it, our executive team got it, and they gave me the blessing to kind of go full steam ahead.
So I'm responsible for uploading all of the resident surveys that we conduct. So we usually track things monthly, and the main thing that we use Wordnerds for is to produce insight reports for different service leads. So we do these for repairs, complaints, customer services, planned maintenance and estate services. I can also see the sentiment score, the volume, and the verbatim feedback as well, which again is really useful if we want to look at specifics. So with those insight reports, what we really want to do is give service leads a snapshot of what residents are saying for the past month, what's driving satisfaction, what's driving dissatisfaction, and then we use those comments to create recommendations for service improvements.
So Wordnerds has been a real useful tool to kind of get underneath what people are saying, and we can look at it across the organisation, but we also can focus on particular estates and areas. And it's allowed us to save so much time to focus on the recommendation.
My role is to support resident engagement, involving residents in different capacities. One of the areas where we use Wordnerds is for the service innovation groups and the resident scrutiny panel. And so we use it to try and increase customer satisfaction using the data from Wordnerds.
We've actually shown customers how we use Wordnerds, and they've been really engaged in that whole process. Because it's trained, it's going to be very consistent, and 99% of the time it's going to be quite accurate in terms of picking up all the right trends.
I can't imagine how long it would take me to produce these insight reports without it. Instead of me having to search through sometimes hundreds of comments or 200 comments per month, it takes me less than a minute sometimes. So Wordnerds kind of does the heavy lifting, and with the visuals we can provide as well. I don't have to type in the data into Excel, for example. It's already done in the Wordnerds system.
It's a nice journey actually, because when I first started here, Wordnerds was already embedded into the organisation, but the service innovation groups weren't. I can remember the first meeting that the Service Innovation Group actually shown the residents. They were quite impressed with how Wordnerds could capture all this information.
So I mainly use the reporting functionality, which is really good for tracking change in sentiment or volume of comments. And I like how easy the system is to use, because I can always export a bar graph or screenshot it and put it into a report for a service lead. And then I mainly use the deep dive functionality as well, which is really interesting. And I like that page because you can see everything in one go. So you can see the themes that the comments fall into. And again, that's categorized by Wordnerds, which is really helpful.
And what I found is easier, and particularly my staff members, is the ease and effort of working with Wordnerds in terms of interrogating the system, uploading the data, pulling the right data down. Don't be scared, because people are thinking AI, what's the social housing doing? Looking at AI and using that to understand what residents are saying. In terms of saving time, great accuracy, and it helps you to clearly understand what residents are saying with context. And actually, it helps you to understand where you need to focus your energies with actionable insights based on real evidence. So it's been a great tool for us, and something that, it's really embedded into our culture now, how we use data to drive service improvements.